Hi, this is Rick Guy, the LinkedIn Guy, and in this segment of the Link Power Coaching Program, I'm going to continue covering the topic of endorsements. In the previous video, we talked about the mechanics of endorsing. Now, what I'm going to be covering is more the strategy connected to endorsements. As with most of our topics, we begin on the home page. And going back to the endorsements, once again, we find it under Profile. And depending on where you have it, it's going to be either somewhere down in the middle. Okay, here's mine. So if you recall in the segment of the Link Power Coaching Program where we talked about the Referrals Institute VCP process, which stands for Visibility, Credibility, and Profitability. Endorsements can help in the visibility arena. It can also help generate one of the two critical success currencies that we need to accumulate on LinkedIn, which is goodwill. Before I talk about the strategy, I do want to mention the difference between endorsements and recommendations. It's a huge difference in my book. Endorsements, if I were to use an analogy, it's kind of like the cherry that you put on top of the sundae ice cream that you have. It's just a little icing, topping, etc. It's a minor deal. It's much more similar to a like on Facebook, and it doesn't, in my opinion, do much for your credibility at all, as much as LinkedIn would like to make it so that it shows that your network is validating your skills and expertise. The fact of the matter is that people who have not worked with me, have no clue what I do, have endorsed me for my skills and expertise. And I know they're just doing that to be polite, to be nice, or whatever reason they're using that. And therefore, since that's being done to me, I'm going to discount any kind of endorsements that I see on somebody else. Unless, of course, I also see that they have a huge amount of recommendations. And then it's just another piece of the puzzle. So by themselves, the endorsements don't mean anything as far as credibility goes. However, in the context, like someone like me who has about 100 different recommendations that are very specific, that are given by real people who have worked with me, then it just validates, it reinforces the fact that I am knowledgeable in the topic matter that I have. So from that perspective, I guess they could help the credibility. But for the most part, I don't treat it as a vehicle for credibility, whereas recommendations are. So by all means, just because you're getting a lot of endorsements and LinkedIn is pushing that, doesn't mean you should stop getting recommendations. Recommendations are still very, very important, and they will add a tremendous amount to your credibility. All right, going back to the concept of visibility via endorsements. If you see when people endorse you, their pictures, their profile pictures will come up, and if you just go around them, then what you can do is they will pop up and you can see who has been endorsing you. And that gives them some visibility with the people in my network who come to my profile, but also with me. The other thing that happens on LinkedIn is people get notified when somebody endorses them, if they have that set up in their notification settings, which most people do because they don't change them. The default is they're going to get notified. So for example, let me show you. I'm going to go to my email. I'm going to pause. Okay, you'll get a message from LinkedIn that says, such and such and 3 others have endorsed you. And then you'll be able to, and if you're one of the first people who endorses the person that day, your name will be first on their email instead of the 3 others who endorse me. I mean, if you do that, it will say your name. So if I endorse, let's see, let me go endorse somebody over here. Let's go to my here my profile and see who has endorsed me. I wanted to go to see this guy, Rod. Okay, let me go to his message. And what I've done is I went earlier today because I was doing this version in Spanish, and I endorse him here. Okay, so what will happen is, especially if not a lot of people endorse him that day, tomorrow he's going to receive a message that will say, Rick Itzkowitz has endorsed you for one of your skills. And what that does is it's giving me visibility with him. It's also generating some goodwill because it's something nice. It's a little gift. Okay? So from a strategic standpoint, endorsing others will give you a lot more visibility than the endorsements that you are getting. So endorsing other people is a good idea from a visibility standpoint. So go ahead and focus on endorsing people. And any time that you go into somebody's profile, if you've worked with them, go ahead and endorse them. I wouldn't recommend that you endorse them if you haven't worked with them. It's still your credibility at stake. So if you can endorsement and feel good about the endorsement validation, that's good. Remember, it is not as big a deal as a recommendation, but it still is something. For instance, I will not endorse somebody that I don't know for a fact they're good at what they do. Even if they endorse me, I will just not do that because it reflects on my credibility and I don't want to put that at risk. So from a visibility standpoint, endorsements give you a chance to gain some visibility. Also, anybody that goes to Radomus page and looks at the skills and expertise has the potential of seeing my picture, which, again, it's minor, but it doesn't hurt to be able to have that. But from a standpoint of the VCP generating visibility and goodwill, it's very helpful to do that. It also can be a conversation starter. So for instance, I can go now and send a message to Berger or Cheval and thank them for them endorsing me and start a conversation. And this is especially good when you've had people that you've known but you haven't been in touch with them for a while. And it's kind of awkward to pick up the phone and sometimes call, especially if you're in sales. So this would be an opportunity to send an email or to call and says, hey, I want to call and thank you for your endorsement of me on LinkedIn. That was very kind. By the way, how are things going? How's the new product, etc. And use that as a segue to start talking about your product or service. It's a nice thing to do. So from that perspective, then it's good. The other thing that I believe, I don't have this for a fact, but I'm pretty certain that the LinkedIn search engine is going to rely more and more, their algorithm, on skills and expertise when people are doing keywords. So it will rate you higher if you have more skills and expertise in that particular subject matter. So for instance, I have, I believe it's about 380 recommendations for 380 social media marketing. So if someone were to do a keyword search for social media marketing, my guess is that will be one of the pieces that will go into the algorithm as to LinkedIn ranking in terms of the order in which I show. So you'll want to have those and you'll want to build those because it probably will help in the search engine optimization of the profile. But other than that, from a strategic standpoint, you want to use the skills and expertise to endorse others to gain visibility and goodwill. If you do that every now and then, it's a very easy way. It won't take a lot of time. It won't cost you much. And certainly if you're not ready to recommend somebody, but it's a simple way to be noticed, generate a little bit of goodwill, and take advantage of something that LinkedIn has given us. I hope you found this segment useful. If you have any questions, be sure you reach out to me via email. You can send me an email at thelinkedinguy@gmail.com or via LinkedIn itself. Thanks for watching and enjoy an extraordinary day.